Hello, everybody. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing today?
Very good, thanks.
Give everybody a couple minutes to join on this fine Thursday.
Perfect.
How's the weather out there in Toronto? It's shaping up to be 32 today in Vancouver.
Is it? Wow. No,
Yeah.
it's raining here. But I think it's supposed to sprinkle a bit of sun at some point.
All right. Well, I'd take your rain. I'd trade your rain. Never thought I'd say that.
Isn't that funny how Vancouver, being the known to be a rainy city, has had like very little rain?
No, it's been crazy. I don't think we're meant for it.
No, exactly, right? So yeah.
Well, we're just at time now, so we can start, and then we can let people pick up as they join.
Absolutely.
Perfect. So welcome, everybody. Today is our third session in our Modern Construction 101 seminars. Today, we'll be tackling 10 meeting tips and tricks with Google Docs and Sheets. So if you've never used Google Docs and Sheets before, there are amazing free tools offered that can actually add so much time savings and really help streamline some of your meetings. I remember the first time I used Google Docs was in university, where in one of my lectures, all of the students collaborated together with their notes on one huge Google Doc. And I think everybody got a great grade that semester because everyone had notes and we were able to answer questions live on the doc. Yeah, I think it was probably the easiest B I ever got, not quite an A. So I'll let Alfredo take it from there. Alfredo is the Rambutan CEO and co-founder, my boss for about 4 years now. And what can I say, except he knows what he's talking about. So I'll give it to you, Alfredo.
Excellent. Thank you, Selena, and thank you for the nice introduction. Welcome, everybody, to today's Construction 101 seminar. I think this is our third or fourth this year. So really excited to share lots of our knowledge. And I like your story about the collaboration taking place in the university. I mean, that's really, where collaboration really does take place and lots of great new ideas. And so, we just have taken that and really implemented it in our business, and has shown a ton of efficiency, a ton of new ways to do things, and simpler ways. That's one of the really cool things about business. I think if we can simplify things and focus on what we really do best, it really makes a huge impact. As Selena said, I'm the CEO and co-founder of Rambutan. Just to tell you guys a little bit about my own background, I'm also the CEO of a couple other companies, including 3H Properties Group, NGC Constructors, Fresh Strategies, as well as some other companies. I started my first business while I was in college. It was in construction, and it was a construction company. And I got a degree in construction management, as well as a diploma in architectural technology. And so I saw a lot of opportunity in the future in this space. And so I wanted to just start to strike out on my own. Over the years, we have and had specialized in several areas, including commercial, multifamily residential, malls, hotels, hospitality. And in fact, in the last 5 to 8 years, a lot of our business in our construction side was focused on cinema and entertainment. And what past and present clients include Cineplex, Marcus Theaters, Regal, Loblaws, H&R Block, Joey's, BC Ferries, Interwest, just to name a few. And so why entrepreneurship? So for me, there's two main reasons. One is there's always been, as I've seen for a long time, and still a huge amount of opportunity in the business of construction and real estate. Our vision over the long term is to change the construction industry for the better. And so that's in line with this business, Rambutan, as well as some of our other businesses. And then the second reason is, one thought that I've always had is trading dollars for hours in business, you have a significantly greater opportunity to build, a legacy business, build wealth, and ultimately build options for yourself and your family with your career. And so that's the second other major reason. And so innovation and improvement has always been part of our business and has led us to the likes of Rambutan, and particularly the topic of today, which is utilizing Google Sheets and Docs. Next slide, please. So what's on the agenda? Number one, why Rambutan wants to help. Number two, what are Google Docs and Sheets? Number three, why use Google Docs and Sheets? Number four, 10 tips and tricks for Google Docs and Sheets. Practical uses for Google Docs and Sheets. Number six, when is it better to use Excel and Word? Number seven, tools and summary. And number eight, Q&A period. Next slide, please. So why Rambutan? Our goal is to change the industry for the better. What is Rambutan? Rambutan is an online team buying procurement marketplace and tech forward services for your next construction and renovation project. The idea behind Rambutan has always been to help the small to medium-sized businesses obtain discounts and pricing that large organizations get. So that has been the premise and the basis for Rambutan, and hence why we're developing this company and see a great future for it. We believe that collaboration is a key, not only in construction and real estate. It's a collaboration is key in sort of everyday life. But particularly, there's a huge amount of possibility that can take place in construction and real estate over time, because I think that's an industry that has a lot to learn from many other industries that are collaborating in a really unique and different way. I think that'll make a huge difference in our future in this industry. And so the saying goes, rising tides lift all boats. So that's an exciting aspect of what we're trying to do here today. Next slide, please. So what are Google Docs and Sheets? If you've heard of Google, but are you taking full advantage of these free resources it provides? Construction is modernizing as fast as the world around us, and it's important to find ways to collaborate easily without paying for specialized software, hence Google Docs and Sheets. So Google Docs and Sheets are free, an online web-based software. Google Docs is sort of equivalent to Microsoft Word, and Google Sheets is similar and equivalent to Microsoft Excel with some limiting charting ability. Web-based software is software you use over the internet and a web browser without the need to install or download anything. Very useful, this cloud type of technology, particularly given construction as a business that is in transit quite a bit or has various sites across in various regions, and so this is a very powerful tool. So how do I use Google Docs and Sheets? Number one, you don't need a Gmail address to view, edit, or comment on Google Docs and Sheets, which is a huge bonus. But you will need to have a free Gmail account to create and store your Google Docs and Sheets. So that's an aspect that you'd want to consider if you want to start utilizing the software. So number three, why should I use Google Docs and Sheets? It's hard to know which tools are the best fit for your team. That's true because there's so many programs and software that's out there. And so you really have to determine what works best. What I'm a big believer in terms of our businesses is simplicity. If you can find software or programs that simplify your work rather than complicate it, that's definitely the direction that makes most sense for me and what we do. Construction is an industry with specific needs, and there's lots of specialized software to choose from, but sometimes the best solution is a simple. Next slide, please. So it makes it easy to collaborate. So this is perfect for remote teams, and given the pandemic, we right now things are still uncertain. There is now a push to have employees return back to work, but surely there is definitely a strong emphasis of a flex schedule with partial remote work. And so, this is a program that will not only work today, but work in the future with the new office environment post-pandemic. Share documents with other businesses with flexible privacy settings like read-only. That's very valuable, especially in construction and real estate. When you're moving huge files, you don't actually have to transfer them. You just give a link to the parties and stakeholders who you're working with. Edits are live and can be made by anyone or just who you select. That's a huge benefit. And thus, if you're on site and you're working, you're taking notes and you're sharing notes with the team, you could take notes live and your team could actually see those notes live. And thus you don't actually have to go back to the office, take your notes, have administrators or yourself retype them out and then send them out to the team. You've just saved an hour to 2 time. And if you multiply that, over the number of projects that you end up going to visit on site, it's substantial. And that's only one employee. Google Docs and Sheets work for on-site and office teams, easy to use offline or on a phone or tablet. Reducing your learning curve. Save time training on complicated tools. Here's a benefit with Google Docs and Sheets. It works just like Microsoft Office programs, which, I think I'm only going to guess this number, but at least 90% of 80 to 90% of work environments utilize Microsoft Office programs. Avoid any roadblocks when communicating with other businesses that don't have or don't know how to use specialized software. Again, the simplicity of these programs are very vital. And in terms of coordinating with other organizations, because they're also familiar, again, you save time in terms of efficiency. Easily upload existing documents directly into Google Docs and Sheets to collaborate. That again is another benefit. Save time and money. Did we mention these tools are free? Reduce your overhead while maintaining efficiency. Save resources from training and retraining on new software. No more printing, editing, scanning, and filing documents, and have fewer, shorter meetings. The printing, editing, scanning, and filing documents, I talked about that earlier. Construction is quite a heavy documented business, and if you can reduce one aspect of it or several aspects of it with software such as these, it'll make a huge difference. Number 4, tips for Google Docs and Sheets. How to save time and get your team on the same page. We've all spent too long hunting down documents, emails, and links, but with little effort, Google Docs can make your next meeting run smoothly and efficiently. Again, having documents within easy access and grasp, that again is an efficient way of running your back-end operations so that your business runs a lot more efficiently. Next slide, please. So you can use a specific work Gmail account to create and store your docs and sheets. Avoid using your personal email. Really important. This is a business environment. Each Gmail account comes with 15 gigabytes of free storage. Of course, you can increase that at very little cost. If you have a Google business listing, consider using the same Gmail account. That's a benefit for small businesses for sure. Understand your options for sharing and permissions. Again, this is where you have a sharing environment internally as well as externally. So sharing types, share with people or groups. You can share your docs or sheets only with specific people via an email invite that gives exclusive access. That is really important when it comes to sharing outside to the external environment, stakeholders, such. Share with a link allows collaborators to follow a link. With these, you can actually, and I'll talk about it in a sec, we'll control the permission types of those collaborators and viewers who receive those documents. These permission types include viewing, being able to comment, or editing. So viewing, our collaborators can only see the document and can't make any changes on the document. Comments are essentially also viewers who are collaborators that can make comments on the side. on the document, and then editing type of permission, which are gives you full access to edit the documents that are shared with you, given to all the collaborators. Next slide, please. Don't be afraid to use templates. That's unique about, that's an advantage with Google. Google Docs Sheets. Microsoft also has this function, but it does make things a lot easier and, in fact, a lot more professional by not having to create brand new templates. Google has a lot of pre-made templates for schedules, invoices, timesheets. There are also lots of open source templates that are available for free. We can provide you with 3 custom templates after this session that we are utilizing ourselves for various aspects of our business. We can talk about that in a bit. And you can always edit and customize templates to your needs, which is really cool about the templates that you get, because every business is different, and somewhat customizing it to the specialization that your business has definitely helps to differentiate your business to your competitors. So what's a really important function that's when it comes to docs and sheets is when you have substantial documents that have a lot of information in them, particularly in Selena's example, where there was a lot of collaborators and you need to find specific information. You use control and find. And so with a longer doc, it can be hard to find the relevant info, but to quickly find what you're looking for, you press Control F and a text box will appear, and enter whatever letter, number, word, or phrase you're looking for, and all instances will appear highlighted, and you can scroll through with the arrow keys. And so this is really important when you have a big, huge spreadsheet as well, and you're looking for names, you're looking for organizations, and so it just it's a real useful function. Next slide, please. Transcribe audio with Google Voice Typing. In your navigation bar, you can go to Tools and then Voice Typing and make sure your microphone is enabled. And so this is when you are creating letters, memos, reports. If you can help save the time in terms of typing and talk freely, that makes a huge difference. Of course, you're going to have to go back and edit a few things, but it also just leaves you the ability to just have a clear head and speak to what topic you're talking about at that point. Plug in your headphones for best effects. The typed dialogue might not be perfect, but usually captures about 90% of dialogue correctly. Perfect if no one is around to take notes or you need to be hands-free. So again, that's something that might be very useful when you're on site and you want to take notes. Given the type of commitment or whatever's keeping you busy on site allows you to be a little bit more efficient with your time. Next slide, please. Enable offline editing for easy use in transit or on site. So in some cases, when you actually don't have wireless access to your Google Docs and Sheets, you're able to save your documents offline and make easy changes to them. And then once you bring them back online, it updates the documents. So you click File, then make available offline, install the suggested extension, choose settings, then hit the gray offline button so it slides to the right and turns blue. So this is, again, that function that helps you ensure that you can still make changes or add thoughts to documents when you don't have access to wireless internet. Often I use this function when I'm traveling and I'm on a plane and you don't have wireless access in some of those cases. So very helpful. Use filters. Filters help clearly communicate which information your discussion is focused on. Select a range. This is for Google Sheets, very, very valuable and helpful, especially when you have a large Google Sheet where it has a ton of information and you want to filter to certain categories, you want to filter to certain topics. And so it helps you keep the large document of data but also then just simplify it to the key information that you're looking to seek. So what you want to do is you select a range of cells on your spreadsheet, you click data, create a filter. To see filter options, go to the top of the range and click filter. You can filter by condition, you can filter by values, you can search, you can filter by color. And so these are really key and important aspects to filtering. And again, for the purpose that I talked about a few seconds ago, really, really valuable and helpful. To turn off the filter, you just click data and turn off filter. Another very important function when it comes to a Google Sheet, and if you want to freeze columns and rows so that you can, as you scroll through that large data sheet of data, you can see certain columns and rows that give you a point of reference, whether it be a category, a topic, a description, an amount. Those are very valuable when it comes to helping you see and analyze important information in your Google Sheets. So on large sheets, you can freeze rows or columns so they stay on screen while you scroll. Number one, you want to select a row or column you want to freeze or unfreeze. At the top, click View Freeze and select how many rows or columns to freeze. So that's a really valuable tool. Next slide, please. Protect specific data. Here's an important function when it comes to sharing documents to the external environment. What you want to do is you want to protect the aspects of your Google Sheet or your other documents so that there cannot be any tampering with the original formulas or functions of the sheet. So if lots of people are working on a sheet, then you might want to lock down some of the data to prevent mistakes or keep certain items static, like your budget. What you want to do is select the range or sheet and right click, select protect and click done. Very easy. Next slide, please. Never lose your work with version history. Here's a valuable tool that often is a problem with Microsoft Word and Microsoft Excel. You can lose information, or if you don't save the file or name the file properly, it's often a complicated aspect. And so Google Docs and Sheets provides, I think, a superior saving process and history process function. So with Google Docs and Sheets, all changes are saved automatically. So you don't have to press save and you don't have to rename a file. When editing offline, changes are still saved locally and uploaded. Once you have internet again, you can restore any version or see individual edits by pressing the last edited on the link on the upper menu to the right of the help button. So very, very valuable. It just makes it foolproof and as simple as possible when it comes to saving your documents. Very important. Okay, so 5 practical uses for Google Docs and Sheets. Give your standard documents an upgrade and learn about how many common project management processes can be improved with the tips learned here today. Application of Google Docs. You can create meeting minutes, and that's one of the areas that we found made a huge difference in our business and our construction business. And so when it came to the site and we were and you're taking notes and you have a big meeting, one person takes the notes, updates it in real time, and then you have a great reference for future. No one has to take those notes back to the office, scan them, print them, and send them out to the team. They're actually already available to everybody. Research is a very valuable aspect of Google Docs, and brainstorming, a collaboration tool where you want to bring a whole bunch of individuals together, collaborate on a certain document, and share, and so that everybody sees that information and it keeps everybody on the same page. No one has to be circulating documents around, trying to share documents. It's simply there and accessible to the group that's working on it. It's very valuable. Next slide, please. Applications for Google Sheets. project update meetings, business development tracking, tender supplier tracking, data reporting, some really cool and important information. We use Google Sheets for update meetings so that you can have a more organized and a functional way of taking meeting minutes for project specific. When you need a structure and you need certain topics, you need certain individuals and team members involved. We utilize that, and it's very efficient for us. Business development tracking, there's lots of CRM programs out there that make things easy, but when it comes to the simplicity of creating an Excel spreadsheet and tracking your potential clients and your client contact list, etc., it really brings a lot of value to that. Tender supplier tracking, when it comes to tendering projects on a larger scale or even on a smaller scale, having all your suppliers contact information, knowing when you contacted them last, knowing what projects they worked on with you last, any special notes, that's all really valuable. And again, that can be shared amongst the team in that collaborative way, and so very valuable and easy. Data reporting, again, that you can capture a ton of data out there, and that sometimes that data can bring a huge amount of value to the analysis of your business. So when is it better to use Excel or Word? There actually is a time when a Google Doc and Google Sheet isn't as valuable in a certain aspect of your business. So in fact, we still use Word and Excel for many functions, and it comes down to the type of function. So how to judge when a standard document will do the trick? So while Google Docs and Sheets are often an ideal working solution, sometimes you want to use a standard Word document and Excel spreadsheet. So when to use an Excel spreadsheet? Although Google Sheets has almost the same functionality, Excel does have more extensive charting abilities and may be a better choice for the following. So for budgets, pro formas, accounting, when you need certain functions and you need your you need your Excel spreadsheet to be a lot more presentable and more functional and go into a lot more detail. We use them a lot more extensively for these aspects. So when to use a Word document? So when you want a professional finalized document while working with a client or a legal discussion, using a Word file might be more suitable. So for formal documents, letters, contracts, reports, Word has proved to be a lot more useful and valuable in these circumstances. Summary and tools from today's lesson. Our goal is to provide value to your business. So why should you use Google Docs and Sheets? So it helps you collaborate easily in a remote environment. It's easy to use and learn. It's free and effective, and helps you hold fewer, shorter meetings. 10 tips and tricks with Google Docs and Sheets. We went over all of these today, and very valuable. Use a specific work Gmail account. Use sharing and permission settings wisely. Don't be afraid to use templates. Transcribe audio with Google's voice typing. Use control and find when it comes to searching through large documents. Enable offline editing when you are transiting between sites, or in my case, when working on a plane. Apply filters. Freeze columns or rows. Protect data and cells when collaborating with groups outside of or even internally in the work environment, and use version history as part of the saving process when it comes to Google Docs and Sheets. Tools for your next project from today's workshop. We're going to be sending out a free Google Doc template for meeting minutes and how we use them for your use. A free Google Sheet template for project meetings and trade tracking update. A full session recording available, live answers to questions, and get ready. Perfect. So I'll hand it back over to you, Selena.
Awesome. Thanks, Alfredo. So these workshops are created to meet your guys' needs. We love sharing things that we found that worked for our team, even things that didn't work for our team. So some of our upcoming workshops include mastering new trends in remote work for teams, creating an airtight profit sharing guide, how to measure project performance, and more. If there's something that interests you in particular, please let us know. You can email us your questions, comments, and suggestions at hello@rambutan.co. So we're coming a little close to time, but we do have time maybe for 1 or 2 questions. If you have a question, you can either raise your hand and I'll take you off mute, or you can type it into the chat and Alfredo will answer it for you. I'll open the floor to questions. If anyone has a question, let me know. Okay, and we got one in the chat. So this one for Alfredo is, what is your personal favorite Google Docs or Sheets tip?
I would say, because I look in my particular role in our various businesses, I look at a whole ton of spreadsheets for whether they be pro formas or whether they be data. And so I really utilize the control and find function, because often they're just humongous sheets with so much data, and in order to find some of the actually there's 2, I'll say that along with filtering, and again it's really related to Google Sheets and even Microsoft Excel. In both cases, when I'm looking through data, I need to see the information I really need, and utilizing that is very valuable.
Awesome. And we have one question from Jim, and it's, once a doc or sheet is shared, is it possible to unshare it? Good question.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, you just have to then remove everybody that you had shared the document with, and remove all the collaborators, and so then at that point, nobody except yourself has access to that document.
Awesome. Yeah, good point. It's always easy to share, unshare, change your settings at any time in Google Docs. One of my favorite aspects. So we'll wrap it up for today, just because we're getting a little over time and I don't want to keep anybody. Thanks so much for everybody for joining and listening. If you have any questions about today's session, or if you have any comments or concerns, you can give us an email or give us a call at 1-800-557-0166. Thanks everybody, and have a great day.
Have a great day, guys.
Bye.